friends, welcome back to the channel. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Divyanka and I'm a doctor of pharmacy here in the US. On this channel, I'm here to help both you and I write a prescription to live our best and most productive life. For those of you who have been consistent watchers, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support. Our little YouTube FocusRx family is growing, and I hope, as always, that all of my videos are helpful for you guys in one way or another. Now today we're actually talking about Amazon. Amazon is already a giant in and of itself, but in case you guys have been living under a rock of some sort, on November 17th of this year, 2020, Amazon actually announced their Amazon Pharmacy. This is a full online pharmacy, of course, under the umbrella of the e-commerce giant Amazon. So in this video, I really want to highlight all the details regarding the online Amazon Pharmacy, the facts about what they offer, where they can help, where they may be improving systems, and also how this is going to impact the pharmaceutical industry as a whole. Now, obviously, taking on this challenge is extremely huge, but who else could do it better other than the giant Amazon themselves? Now, although it might seem like this kind of came out of the blue and Amazon just decided to, grow an online pharmacy, that's not really what happened. There is some history behind this, and I want to kind of talk about how they even got to this point. So let's kind of dive deep into the history here for a second. All right, so their history in terms of being a part of the healthcare industry, specifically pharmacy, actually stems from a company called PillPack. PillPack is a subscription online pharmacy that Amazon actually bought in 2019 for about $753 million. If you haven't heard about PillPack before, they're a full-service pharmacy that specializes in delivering medications in small daily packets. So you basically get your medication for the whole month as you would from a normal pharmacy, but it's, again, divided into small packets, so on a daily basis, you only take one packet and you can take all of your medications at once. It's super simple. The packaging shows what time you should take your medication and all of those other details, so it's super, super helpful. This idea of PillPack actually came from where I went to school, MCPHS University. In our 6th year of pharmacy school, or our P4 year, or our last year, whatever you want to call it, we have a capstone project. So this PillPack company actually came and stemmed from the capstone project from a group that came years before me. PillPack was working as an online pharmacy, and of course, because of their specialized daily dose packaging, they had a niche and they had customers that loved them. Now, for Amazon, buying PillPack was of course a game changer move to really enter the pharmaceutical field. Amazon is pretty much known to kind of take the middleman out of e-commerce. So in this instance, they're kind of doing just that, but with pharmacy. They're removing the middleman, which is the brick and mortar pharmacy or your chain pharmacy, any physical standing pharmacy, and providing the service directly from Amazon to the consumer, which is of course you and me. Now, when Amazon asked for answers from their customers, 85% of Amazon Prime members said they would actually use an Amazon pharmacy. And that's a lot of people because Amazon actually has 100 million Prime subscribers. So you can imagine the powerhouse of a pharmacy that this can become, with 100 million Prime subscribers and the acquisition of PillPack. I think one of the most important things PillPack actually came with was pharmacy licenses in every one of the 50 US states. Of course, obtaining those licenses is a step in and of itself. And again, that problem was solved for Amazon through the acquisition of PillPack. So, as you can imagine, the impact of all of this on the pharmaceutical industry as a whole, pharmacy benefit programs, and the medical industry can actually be incredibly huge. But we just don't know what those implications are just yet. It's too early in the game to actually know how this will change the course of pharmacies. The US pharmacy industry is actually worth $500 billion. And we know Amazon's history. They have made a dent in e-commerce. They are a leading giant in e-commerce. And so they can actually have the potential to make a dent in the pharmaceutical industry, even though it's such a large industry. Now, because they have the ability to make a dent in this industry, again, this means that the pharmacy landscape could truly change. How many physical pharmacy stores we have could actually really be affected by this. But again, we just don't know what those implications are just yet. Overall, this doesn't really come across as a surprise. Amazon is just trying to insert themselves in the pharmacy space and provide to us what we all need: access to medications at an affordable price as soon as possible. So now let's take a turn and talk about what the Amazon pharmacy actually provides. These are all the details that affect customers, that affect you and me if we are to choose Amazon Pharmacy as our primary pharmacy. So again, these are the important factors, and these are the factors that we have to take into consideration when truly comparing Amazon Pharmacy compared to other pharmacies, and also this program as a whole. So the Amazon Pharmacy actually does accept most insurances, but for those who don't have insurance, they are also more likely to give discounts. Right now, they're serving 45 states. The exceptions for right now are Hawaii, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, and Minnesota. Of course, these limitations are only temporary, and Amazon will enter those 5 states soon, again giving them access to all 50 states. Customers can also actually use their FSA and HSA accounts. FSA are your flexible spending accounts, and HSA are your health savings accounts. Now, interestingly enough, doctors can actually directly send your prescription to Amazon Pharmacy. They have that capability, so as you normally would have your doctor send an e-prescription to your pharmacy, now they can do the same if you'd like to get your medication filled by the Amazon Pharmacy. Patients can also transfer their profiles from an existing pharmacy. So right now, if your primary pharmacy is CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, Wegmans, etc., you can just have your whole account transferred to Amazon like an external pharmacy, which is a normal process that you would do anyway if you were to want to switch pharmacies in any normal setting. Now, once you've actually completed your first order through the Amazon Pharmacy, you can have Amazon, again, be your primary pharmacy and have Amazon reach out to your doctor to ask for new prescriptions for refills and all of that, again, as you normally would with your pharmacy. Additionally, why their 100 million Prime subscribers are so important is because Prime subscribers actually get 2-day free shipping on any medications. Of course, as any Prime member would with any other Amazon purchase. And again, this is a huge bonus for Amazon because you and I who are Prime subscribers don't have to do any additional work or get new subscriptions to actually utilize the online Amazon Pharmacy. If you're not a Prime member, you can actually still get 5-day free shipping instead of 2-day free shipping, or pay $5.99 for 2-day shipping. So again, that's pretty huge. You can still get free delivery from the Amazon Pharmacy if you're not a Prime member, but you just have to wait a couple extra days. For those who don't mind the wait, again, that's pretty convenient. Now, the Amazon Pharmacy will have a mix of both brand and generic name drugs. And Amazon has also mentioned that their system actually can screen for potential drug interactions. For us pharmacists, we know that that's a huge part of actually having a pharmacist in a pharmacy and going through those drug interactions where systems and pharmacists catch them. So Amazon putting this information out there is again very important from a consumer standpoint and also from a healthcare professional standpoint, because we know that they're at least trying to screen for potential drug interactions. Now, I can't really speak to the accuracy of their drug interaction screen, but again, it's very important that they've taken this into consideration. Although the Amazon Pharmacy can supply almost any medication, they will not be supplying any Schedule II controlled medications or any opioids. For those medications, per normal regulations, you still need to go to a physical pharmacy and have the physical prescription. Now, all of those services and facts are available through the Amazon Pharmacy for anyone, even if you're not a Prime member like I mentioned. Now, if you're a Prime member using the Amazon Pharmacy, there are actually a couple more perks. The first is their prescription saving benefits program, which allows customers to save up to 80% on generic medications and up to 40% on brand name medications. Now, I haven't dived too deeply into this and actually compared any prices, but again, if they are able to supply those discounts, that's a huge perk to using the Amazon Pharmacy versus any other pharmacy. Another perk if you're a Prime member is that they actually supply you with a prescription savings card. Right now, this card can actually be used at up to 50,000 pharmacies in the US, of course, including your CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, Wegmans, etc. And this really helps in those cases where you don't have time time to wait for your free 2-day delivery, you can take your savings card, go to a pharmacy in person, and still make your transaction through Amazon and be able to receive the medication that day. Now, of course, as I mentioned, Amazon bought PillPack, so because of this, they can actually offer you your medications in 2 different ways. You can order your medications in normal pharmacy vials like you would get from any CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, etc., or you can use PillPack and get the daily small packages of your medications like PillPack does supply. So again, that's a huge perk. You can kind of choose how you want to get your medications, and this overall, from a pharmacist's point of view, I think will really help with patient adherence. You can get your medication in whatever way you think is easiest, and hopefully, again, this will help patients stay on their medication schedule and actually be adherent to their medication, which, as us pharmacists know, is a huge global issue. Overall, when I scroll through the Amazon pharmacy online, it has a pretty user-friendly interface like their normal e-commerce website, and all of their services are laid out pretty clearly. Now, overall, I wanted to talk about what my thoughts were in regards to Amazon opening this pharmacy and what this really means in terms of the pharmacy landscape and what changes this will bring about. Now, I was actually reading an article on this, and they had quoted Dr. Ron Girardi, who is the CEO of Access Point Healthcare, and he mentioned that Amazon is skilled and experienced in disrupting traditional approaches. Now, of course, that's a very true statement when it comes to e-commerce, and like I mentioned, I don't think that there's any other company currently in the e-commerce space that is as well equipped to take on this huge undertaking. So overall, I really think this is going to be a positive change for those customers who need it. This will help customers get their medications more easily, I hope. And again, from a pharmacist perspective, I really think this could really help patient adherence in terms of taking their medications, which in the long run, I hope will affect disease burden nationwide in a very positive way. I think this approach will also actually bring pricing transparency. Your prescription can cost cheaper at some pharmacies versus others, depending on your insurance, depending on the pharmacy you go to, depending on how much their costs are, all of those factors. And I think Amazon being so transparent about their prices and about wanting to help people with the discounts that they're offering in the medical field will help with pricing transparency as a whole. Amazon hasn't only made a dent in the e-commerce space, it has completely transformed it. And I can actually see them doing the same with Amazon Pharmacy. Of course, there are many limitations that an online service and an online pharmacy can provide, but in a holistic view, I do think this can bring upon positive change. Now, I just mentioned some challenges being present, but what exactly are those challenges? One challenge I see with the online pharmacy is the immediacy. When you forget to fill your refill and you need the next dose of your medication the same day, or really any scenario that brings you to needing your medication prior to the 2-day mark that Amazon provides with free shipping. Amazon right now, of course, can't really solve that issue by being Amazon itself. Now, like I mentioned, they do have their savings card, which I think can help, but again, they don't have an immediate response to needing a medication immediately. Now, the next challenge is, of course, Amazon not being able to supply Schedule II controlled medications and opioids. There are already so many serious regulations around those medications from a physical pharmacy where you can really be in control of what you're dispensing to whom and really assess need on a personal basis. So that's really a big challenge that Amazon is going to have to overcome if they want to really make a dent in the space, because then, of course, you always need a physical pharmacy to be filling those Schedule II and opioid medications. The next challenge is to not be able to have those face-to-face interactions with your pharmacist, and therefore not being able to receive any consultations from your pharmacist about any questions you may have while picking up your medication like you normally would have access to at a pharmacy. Now, again, from a pharmacist perspective and having worked at pharmacies recently, I know that there's a huge push towards consulting more, making pharmacies and the pharmacists within really a part of a patient's life and being a resource for a patient. And with Amazon not being able to provide that, I think that's a huge challenge and a huge deficit to having your medications filled by an online pharmacy. I think pharmacists are a great resource. We're taught to teach a lot and consult a lot to help our patients. So for patients, I really do think that's a very necessary component that Amazon right now is not being able to provide. The last challenge I see with the Amazon online pharmacy is not being able to give and administer vaccines. Of course, as I mentioned, I think the push for physical pharmacies is to really become some sort of small clinic, which includes giving vaccines. That is, of course, something that is just not going to be possible with an online pharmacy. So if Amazon really wants to take over the pharmacy space in that sense, that's a huge challenge that with just their online model, they're not really going to be able to do that. So overall, I hope this video was really informative. If you guys haven't heard that Amazon is opening their online pharmacy, if you guys are interested in actually making it your pharmacy or learning more about all of it from a healthcare professional point of view, go ahead and definitely visit their website. Again, it's very user-friendly. All the information that you would want to know is there, and I think it's really interesting. I think in the future, it'll be really interesting to see the change that is brought on by this, both from a consumer and pharmacist point of view, and see how they really take on the challenges that I proposed and the other challenges that I haven't even thought of. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, if you guys see any other challenges, if you guys see any other pros that I didn't mention of there being such an online pharmacy. Again, I think this is a really pivotal moment in the pharmaceutical industry with Amazon really entering the picture, so I'm really excited to see what happens going forward. Tech plus healthcare is always interesting, but that definitely is our future. So I'm definitely interested to know your guys' thoughts on it. If you guys have any additional insight, please feel free to share it in the comments below, or of course you guys can email me. I mention this all the time, but you guys are so great about communicating with me via email, and I do take time out of my day to respond to your guys' emails, comments, and Instagram messages. So I really would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the Amazon pharmacy, any insight you may have, any other conclusions you may have come to, all and any of the above. Lastly, if you guys like the hoodie that I'm wearing or are interested in any other pharmacy type merch, be sure to check out my store. I have many designs, including some Christmas holiday merch, which is very, very exciting. If you guys are interested in ordering any Christmas merch, I want to make sure that it gets to you guys before Christmas, so definitely order as soon as possible if you guys are interested at all. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys, as always, for stopping by and being so supportive. I hope this video was helpful for you guys in one way or another. That is it for today's video, and you guys will, of course, see me in the next one.